What up, everybody? What's going on? It's your boy Fat Daddy coming back with some more real talk. Hope y'all doing well out there, man. You know, I'm getting started with my morning. You know, got my little bud ice in my hand. You know, I'm feeling real good. But y'all see my title up there, man. My title says, take the name missionary off your church building, please. You know what? They asked me to keep it 100 in this video. You know what I'm saying? How many Baptist churches up now with this missionary title? How many churches do we see? You know, we got such and such Missionary Baptist church. This Missionary Baptist church. We got about 6 churches on one street and all of them Missionary Baptists. But why ain't nobody doing no missionary work is my question. How many churches we see that don't live up to their name they have on their building? Not everybody, you know, thank God for the churches that moving forward, but some of these churches, they need to take their sign down and take their building down. Now, I know that sounds a little rough, but please don't get mad at the truth. You know, a lot of churches doing good. We thank God for them, but some of these churches, man, ain't doing nothing but just sending folks to destruction. See, let me tell you something, y'all. So many churches, they spend time on talking about missions. They talk good. But see, Apostle Paul, that was a missionary. Paul done real missionary work in the Bible. That was real ministry. Even the old prophets like Prophet Isaiah. That's why you need to learn about evangelism. You know, that's why evangelism is a huge part of missions. The purpose of missions is to bring the gospel to others. Some people just talking, how you gonna bring the gospel to others and you won't even get outside your building? But yet and still you got such and such Missionary Baptist Church. Where's the missionaries at? Please take that sign missionary off your church building. Because you ain't doing nothing but confusing people. Y'all understand what Fat Daddy talking about a little bit. Can I keep it real with y'all? How you gonna reach the lost and you never go after them? I'm so sick of these preachers. All they talking about, not everybody, but these ones with this just, you know, pay your tithes, pay your tithes, pay your tithes, pay your tithes. And then you really wonder in your mind, where is this money really going? You know what I'm saying? Where is this money really going? Pay your tithe, okay, I understand, I'm paying my tithe, but why is it that I'm paying my tithe, but you won't even help this lady around the corner who got her lights cut off, knowing that her husband done been dead. She got them 3 kids in there, but I'm paying my tithe, but why can't you help her get her lights back on? Y'all see what I'm saying? Pay your tithe. Now, I'm not here to tell people don't give, don't pay your tithe. You do what you do just as well as I do what I do. But my thing is, how long we gonna keep playing this take up money game and we ain't gonna take up nothing to help the poor? Pay your tithes, pay your tithes. Pay your tithes, and the church still looking the same. Uh-oh. Fat Daddy gotta keep it real. Pay your tithes, and the roof still leaking. Pay your tithes, and then the preacher pull up in a new Benz. Y'all feel what I'm saying, man? The truth hurt. Fat Daddy got to keep it real. That's all I know how to do is to keep it real. I know some of y'all religious folk probably mad at me, but oh well, the hell with what you think. Truth got to be told, whether it's coming from my mouth or whoever mouth. Truth got to be told. Everybody ain't helping folk. And then the one that paying tithes sitting in there faithfully every Sunday, they can't even get help when they church need help. When they need help. See, all this stuff about you gotta be a member, that ain't even biblical. Was Jesus walking around saying you need to be a member of this church? Was Paul walking around saying that you need to be a member of this church? Now, they say when you need help, you need help. See, if folk would tell the truth about paying tithes, you know, if you ain't being taught about first fruit offering, then you missing out on the Bible anyway. Excuse Fat Daddy, y'all, excuse me. Y'all feel what I'm saying? We got folk brainwashed behind the preacher. So when you come back to this missionary thing, this Missionary Baptist church, how many of them are in the world now? Oh man, we go to the such and such. They know what I'm saying. I was brought up in that. I was brought up in Missionary Baptist. I'm still to this day wondering where's the real missionary work at. I don't even care nothing about the title Baptist. I'm trying to figure out why we got all these religions, all these names for one God, one Lord, one faith, one baptism. Can somebody explain that to me? That show me what God didn't create. I don't want to be no part of it. I heard a dude on here the other day, what that dude name? Yeah, I think they call him Bitty Man. Bitty Man said something real, said God ain't none of this best you come out of it. Y'all know what I'm saying? I like that. I like that cat, man. He be keeping it 100, be keeping it real a lot of time. And that's the problem. God done left some of these churches years ago, and folks still sitting up in there, Brother Jimmy. If you're looking big Brother Jimmy, man, folks are still sitting up in churches that God have left, the Holy Spirit left long time ago, and they still sitting there like a bump on a log. That's what my grandpa used to say, sitting in there like a bump on a log. When you go back to what's my man name? Prophet Isaiah. See, I know a little something about the Bible, y'all. I just look like this. Prophet Isaiah, that's why I say let's take somebody from the Old Testament like Isaiah, and you saw Paul in the New Testament. When you look at Isaiah and Paul in the Bible, they reached out. They reached out. There go another problem. Everybody I know claim to have an outreach team, and they won't even go outside of the church building. Prophet Isaiah, what I liked about him is that Prophet Isaiah was more than willing to be sent out. Some churches just been talking, and this him, you know what I'm saying? They just been talking. Truth is, a lot of people who won't well, let's say it like this. A lot of people ain't gonna get outside their building. They not gonna get a food pantry. They not gonna feed the poor. They not gonna help the needy. They not gonna give to the homeless people and go get them clothes and stuff. You know why? Because the truth be told, that takes somebody getting outside of the church building. Somebody gotta get up. Somebody gotta drive. Somebody gotta volunteer. Somebody gotta spend some of their time. They don't want to do it. That's why Baptist people are very comfortable with what they do. Now, I'm not trying to bash on nobody, but if you know what I'm talking about, if you've been in a Baptist church, Baptist people are just comfortable. They are religious, a lot of them, not all of them, and they love to stay in the same spot. That's why the church been sitting on the same corner for 50, 60 years doing the same thing, and the same people in position if they ain't died already. Excuse FatDaddy again. So when you get somebody like Prophet Isaiah who was more than willing to be sent out, that's what I'm talking about. See, them old people, them Old Testament folk, they didn't mind. They got hit hard, man, with persecution. Then you start looking at people that died for the faith. They died for Jesus. These people now just following tradition. Yep. Following tradition and man-made stuff. That's what it is. You know what the problem is, too? We got a lot of worldly churches up. A whole lot of them. And most Baptists, let's do a little bit of teaching here. FatDaddy know a little something. Most Baptist churches, keep with me, y'all. Most Baptist churches were in the past founded on the sound doctrine and teachings of the New Testament. But, however, many of them have, in varying degrees, have drifted away from the teachings of the Scriptures. Some of these churches done went too far. Some of these churches have gone so far to even deny the fundamental teachings of the Bible. These worldly churches still call themselves Baptists. But not everybody's a worldly church. But a lot of these worldly churches still call themselves Baptists, but in fact, they do not believe or practice what true Baptists have historically believed, and more importantly, what the Word of God says, the true, independent, fundamental Baptists have no association or fellowship with these type of churches. They teach or practice things contrary to the New Testament. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Let the church say amen, even though some of y'all mad at Fat Daddy. Let me tell you why Fat Daddy got out the Baptist church. And I'm just talking from my own personal experience here. My problem with Baptist churches and this missionary title, they never taught about first fruit offerings. They stuck on 10%. Like God gave us 10% of Jesus. It always got to be the same format every Sunday. Instead of letting God run the service, they want to put themselves in there. They want to show out, beg for money. Every Baptist church I know got a building fund, and they ain't put a doorknob on the church. All these preachers with all this hooping and hollering and trying to make the organ player jump 2 or 3 keys, that ain't preaching. That's you just sitting up babbling and having fun and trying to get people to shout. That ain't preaching. Real preaching, see, the thing with me is, if I want to hear some real teaching, I got to get outside of a Baptist church. And I got to get with somebody that teaches the word. I ain't talking about singing the word and hooping and hollering and having a show-off contest. I'm talking about real teaching. Like Jesus taught, like Paul taught, like Peter taught. It's amazing to me what we see going on now. Did none of them folk do that in the Bible? Hell, as a matter of fact, Jesus spoke with the simple parables. Little old parables. I don't know where we get out with all this hooping and hollering and running and screaming and flipping pews over and all this old crazy stuff that ain't even biblical. Oh, Fat Daddy done made a lot of y'all mad. That's what I hate about the Baptist church. Some of these preachers be talking about if you ain't hooping and hollering, you ain't doing nothing. Some of them up there hooping and hollering and ain't said 2 words from Scripture. So many anniversaries now. You come to my church next month, I'm coming to your church 2 months later. All these musicals now. My question is, when they gonna start reaching out? When they gonna start helping people? But you got Missionary Baptists on your church building. And my biggest problem with these Baptist churches is that most people in there are just religious and stuck on their titles. They just love going to church just to say I went to church, I'm a choir member, I'm a deacon, I'm in the pulpit, I'm this, I'm that. Man, who cares? And then we got all these bake sales and fish fries. Man, every time I go to church, $5 fish plate. You know what I'm saying? My question is, when you gonna start, when you gonna take some of these bake sales and these fish fries and start baking for the homeless and giving these homeless people some of these fish dinners? Ain't nothing wrong with doing little stuff for your church, but when you gonna start doing stuff for people that don't go to the church? How you gonna get them in if you're not going to them? That stuff pisses Fat Daddy off, y'all. Y'all got to feel me. Ain't gonna get a poor and needy no fish, no nothing. We always talking about invite somebody to church. For what? What they coming for? To see your dirt? And you wonder why Sunday school got a low turnout. You wonder why Bible study got a low turnout. These Baptist churches I know got more activities than teaching. Now, if you sit around and say we're going to take everybody to Six Flags, church building going to be full of that money. That Sunday, excuse me. Saturday, let me say. That Fat Daddy get his thoughts right. If you say we going to take a field trip, the church going to be packed up that Saturday morning. But that Sunday morning, it's almost like you got to bribe folk to get them to come to church. Well, if you come to church Sunday, we'll take you on a trip Saturday. If you would be doing what you're supposed to do, outreach, and you wouldn't have to worry about trying to bribe somebody and blackmail them almost to try to come to church. Most Baptist churches got more activities than teachings. I'm talking about real teachings. How many times do we see people leave the Baptist church? Some need to leave and some leave for good reasons. Some people tired of going to the same old boring services. Children don't even have nothing to do. People come and people go. Excuse Fat Daddy again. Excuse Fat Daddy again. people want to see changes. And these Baptist churches, a lot of them don't want to change. Most Baptist churches don't want to change things no way. So when I think about this title, missionary, once again, I start laughing. I laugh at a lot of titles, y'all just have to forgive me for laughing, but sometimes you need to laugh because laughter is good for the soul. And I gotta laugh to keep from crying because really on the inside my heart be hurting when I look at this stuff that I see going on with these church buildings. See, I was brought up Baptist. But you ask me what I am now, none of them. I'm not Baptist, I'm not Holiness, I'm not Pentecostal, I'm not AME, I'm not CME, I'm just simply JT. I'm a child of God. I don't even call myself a Christian because I don't want to be in the category with these Christians. One time I was an unbeliever. And I continued to stay an unbeliever because I looked at who I thought was supposed to be a Christian and I said, hell, they're in the same boat I am. Why in the world I want to go to their church or serve their God? Because I don't see no love. They look just like the world. I heard so much about Jesus this, Jesus that, and when I finally started going into the building, I didn't see no Jesus in there. I saw a lot of devils in there. So like I say, FatDaddy was brought up Baptist, but I don't get stuck on them titles, man. Not the hell with all these titles. I tell people all the time, man, I had to find God with the relationship and not religion. I don't know why I was trying to find him. He was already there. He's been always there. I was just stupid and being hard-headed, doing what I want to do, out there messing around, doing what I want to do, living how I want to live, and that was my life back then. But now that I know better, I do better. Y'all feel what FatDaddy said. That's why I hate to say it like that, but I don't claim to be no Christian. I claim to be a child of God. And it's sad for the real Christians because there's so many fake Christians putting a bad title on the name Christian and trying to make Jesus look like something that he wasn't because Jesus wasn't no sinner. Jesus forgave. He wasn't jealous. You know what I'm saying? Jesus healed people. He didn't care what their color was. We got Christians that can't get along with Christians. A Christian's biggest problem is another Christian. From what I see, y'all feel what FatDaddy said just a little bit. I know I'm going a little long in the video, but I want to express the way I feel, man. I want to give a shout out to my brother Jimmy Carter down there, man. Cause see, big brother Jimmy, he keep it real, man. He keep it 100. Big shout out to you, Jay. We talk about this stuff all the time, man. FatDaddy gotta keep it real once again, man. I don't see one thing about FatDaddy. I don't care who get mad at me, bruh. I care less about the folk what they love. Oh, man, he's sitting up on camera with a beer in his hand and all that stuff. Hey, man, I don't answer to y'all. Man, your thoughts don't mean nothing to me. If folk can learn to quit sitting up worrying about what the hell other folk think about them, then they can move forward in their life. That's why I say I used to be an unbeliever. The thing is, if a lot of people, let me say that real, I'm about to close. A lot of people that I know, they claim to be a Christian, but I don't see what a Christ is in them. In these Baptist churches, what I see will make me not even want to know their God. If I was still an unbeliever like I used to be, they couldn't even convince me that they have the love of God because they don't show it. They jealous, they envy, they want to show out, they want to look good on the outside just like those Pharisees in the Bible. But I told this dude the other day, man, if I was still an unbeliever and I was in half of these churches that I see right now, they could convince me, and I would rather stay an unbeliever and stay lost. Because most of them in the church are lost. They can't lead you nowhere because they don't even know where they're going. They confused. They could lead you to destruction. So with that being said, man, FatDaddy gonna get on up out of here, man. Y'all know, thank y'all for taking time out to listen to your boy. So the next time the Lord say the same, FatDaddy, see you once again. Peace, and y'all take care.